secret to long marriages?
Nobody has the secret. Everybody has to have their own individual secret. You've got to figure out how it is that you are going to handle your particular marriage. Because like I was saying, everybody has a different character, and everybody's character is developed by how they grew up, you know? So what I would say, and please don't look for me in the streets, beat me up if you don't agree with this, but I personally believe that the larger responsibility in the marriage, in terms of the atmosphere at home and that kind of thing, actually falls on the man, if you ask me. That's just me now, okay? They say, nyumba ni ya mama. So one develops this attitude of, okay, fine, now whatever
happens in the
house, ni mama. And in many houses, the man is rarely around, okay? Maybe I spend too much time in the house, I don't know. But I will be very honest and tell you that I had an extremely volatile marriage for many, many years, okay? I did not have anyone to advise me. I was never advised by my father. My father did, yeah. No uncles, or no one really tried to help me out and tell me, you know, when you're married, it's like this, it's like that, and what might have you. And I'll tell you, my marriage was very, very volatile, like I said. And I had this attitude, this woman, uyu mama, hey, man, if this woman could only just kwa nini huyu mama, oh, this woman. And then one day, which I wish I had done like 10, 15 years earlier, I sat down and I thought to myself, okay, if my wife is not going to do things differently, then let me do things differently.
Wow.
The way I normally approach things, maybe I need to find a different approach. So slowly but surely I started to observe. I thought to myself, how do I behave when I enter the house? I'd never really thought about it. Then I thought one day, how do I behave when I enter the house? Am I pleasant? Am I angry? Do I bring the pressures of what I've been through? What actually do I do? So once I observed that, I thought to myself, okay, let me see if I enter the house differently, whether it will have a different impact. So what I thought was, when I enter my house from work or wherever, the first thing I need to do is count to 10. Don't talk, don't react, don't do anything, just count to 10. And the first time I did that, and I counted to 10 in my head, these things that jumped at me, when you get to that, these are children, man, they're going to leave things out of place, you know, toys here, there, things thrown around. Now, you come home, you're tired, you've been through whatever, you see that, first impulse, start shouting. I'm angry. Why is that? Why? And if you start like that, it's likely to
escalate.
Exactly. So that's why I thought, let me just try. And so there was a time I got to the house and I entered the gate, and sure enough, things are everywhere. So I said, I'm going to count to 10. Let me count to 10. So I just stood there, just inside the gate, counting 1, 2, up to 10. By the time I got to 10, I then looked at these things. It's like, and I got to the house.
Inside the house.
And I get inside the house, and once again things are upside down. And again, I think, okay, count to 10 again. Now, it's tedious. Let me tell you, when you first try to do it, it becomes tedious, and you're always thinking like, every time I count, each number takes so long before I get to 10. But the effect of doing it got to me, and I kept thinking, wait a minute.
You're not reacted.
Maybe I should have done this years ago, because I've not reacted badly now. You understand? Yeah. And let me tell you, by the time you're counting to 10, by the time you hit 3, 1, 2 of your children, they come and jump to you with that joy of seeing you, and then that is the emotion that takes over. But if you enter the house and start shouting, your child has no opportunity to come to you happily and hug you and make you feel better.
Yes.
So slowly but surely, I began to change the way I react to things, the way I do things initially. I will tell you, my marriage is not perfect by a long shot, but I feel it's a lot better than it used to be.
Wow.
Now, you're a lady. I don't know. Please don't object to what I'm about to say, or other ladies. God gave us certain characters, okay? It's a character of a man, it's a character of a woman.
Yeah.
But at the same time, the word of God says man and woman were created equal. Now that thing goes through my head every day. Because if God created us equal, okay, then that means, I'm not really above her. We can't actually literally be on the same level. But if we're created equal, then there's a certain amount of leeway. See, I expect a certain amount of leeway, right?
Yeah.
So I'm thinking, okay, if we're created equal, then if I expect leeway, I have to give it as well. Things like I say, I wish I had thought about 20, I don't know how many years earlier. You understand? And then again, and please don't object. Also, not reacting to my wife immediately. I don't know if it is natural as a result of the way God made us that ladies nag their husbands. I don't know if it's a matter of familiarity, because they say familiarity breeds contempt. And when you say contempt, I know people take it as such a terrible word. But, contempt is like, man, I take you for granted. Okay, so he's here. So what? He looks the same like he did 20 years ago. So, what am I supposed to do? Celebrate, jump up and down just because he came home? I don't know if that's really what goes through anyone's head. I don't know. I'm just imagining. You understand?
Yeah.
But one thing that happened is I stopped reacting to my wife immediately. Which is what men do. There's sometimes I can tell, okay, she's saying that on purpose to get on my nerves and whatever, but then I don't react. So like I say, it's not a perfect relationship, but I do prefer the way the marriage is now as opposed to the way it was before, because I did take the attitude of, if I'm being called the head of the house, let me try and control the atmosphere in the house.
You changed your ways.
Yes, I did, yeah.